Shabbat Shalom, everyone. On this Shabbat Toldot, Shabbat Toldot, in this parsha, we are given the story of Isaac and Rebekah and their twin sons. Rebekah cries out, "Why is what's going on inside of me so troublesome?" When she's pregnant, Lama ze anochi, and then she goes and she speaks to Yah. And she has her babies, Jacob and Esau. They struggle in the womb, destined to clash throughout the lives and those of their descendants. The Parsha contains two great narratives: the birth and childhood of the boys, and the scene in which Yaakov, at Rebekah's behest, dresses in Esau's clothes and takes his blessing from their father Isaac, who is now blind. I want to share with you, before I move on in the Devar Torah, that this might be one of the most personal Divrei Torah that I've ever offered, because it has to do with some dysfunction in my family that you might identify with as have happened in a similar or different way in yours. The Parsha begins with the following: Ve'ele toldot Yitzchak ben Avraham. Avraham holid et Yitzchak. This is the story of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac. What you see in green is the word Toldot, translated here as story. But let's take a look at what might be another understanding of the word Toldot. Well, Toldot can mean a story, as it is here, but it can also mean descendants. These are the descendants of Yitzchak, the son of Avraham, in much the same way that Miriam led us in the meditation to call in our ancestors. Toldot can also mean generations. These are the generations of Isaac. I receive it a little differently, including all of these things, and that it can mean generating. These are the ways in which Isaac participated in generating what was to follow. So let's see what I mean by that. V'yitritzu habanim berkirba, v'tomer im kein lama ze anochi v'telach lidrosh et yudhei vavhei. But the children, Yaakov and Esav, struggled in her womb, and Rivka said, Im kain lama ze anochi. If this is what's going on in my womb, why do I exist? And then she went to inquire of Yudhei Vavhei. Vayomer Adonai la shnei goyim bevitnech. And Yudhei Vavhei answered her that 2 nations are in your womb. 2 separate peoples shall issue from your body. 1 people shall be mightier than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. And I ask you, my friends, wait a second. Esav was the elder and Jacob the younger. Wouldn't it have been not only natural, but wouldn't we assume that it was Esav, the elder, who would receive the blessings? Because that's the way it was during those times. Receive the inheritance, spiritual and physical. All of this here comes to my understanding of Toldot, of Isaac generating favoritism throughout the generations. This is a picture of my older brother, Franklin, holding me in our backyard. My brother Franklin is the elder, obviously, and I am the younger. My brother, everything was difficult Things did not come easy to him like they did to me. When he wanted to play a musical instrument, he took up the drums, but unsuccessfully gave them up in a short time. He tried to play the guitar, but not the guitar of John Lennon or any of the other guitar players such as Jimi Hendrix in the time that he was doing this. Instead, he chose to play Hawaiian guitar of all things. And that was very difficult for him as well. But for me, playing piano came easy. My brother struggled in school. As a matter of fact, you know that I was on Broadway as a child, and my mother was with me in Chicago, and we needed to come home because my brother was struggling so much in school that my mother felt that she needed to be home. In the meantime, I was a good student and things came easy to me as well as they did to our older sister, Ellen. A terrible story that my brother shared with me in the last few years was that when we sang in the car, my father would ask him not to sing because he sang off-key. I never knew this, and it really, really broke my heart when my brother told me. For me, of course, I was the golden boy. And in the professional choir that I sang with our father, it led to my Broadway experience. And then finally, my brother was the middle child. And when he was in college, some professor told him that there's a middle child syndrome. And he took that to heart. That he was stuck between a socially competent older sister and a talented younger brother. And I think that affected him for the worst. My brother blames our dad, and I credit my father for who I am. And he blames my dad for what occurred for him, and then subsequently what he carried with him, this burden in his lifetime. So you see how this resonates for me in this Torah portion. I continue because it gets worse. Ve'ehehov Yitzchak et Esav ki tzayid b'fiv, v'Rivka ohevet et Yaakov. Isaac favored Esav because he had a taste for game, meaning Isaac loved basar. He loved some good flesh, some good meat. But Rebekah favored Jacob. You see in the green that I have bolded the word, though the shoresh, aleph he vet. What does it mean? It's the shoresh for love. Here translated as favored, but it means loved. That Isaac loved Esav because Esav would go. He was a skilled hunter and bring back some good meat for his dad. But Rebekah, she loved Jacob. I think perhaps because he was a mama's boy. But all of this has consequences. Oops, let me go back. V'Rivka amra el Yaakov bana lemor. This now is at the moment before Yitzchak is going to bless his sons. So we are skipping way ahead in the Parsha. Hine shamati et avicha. I heard your father speaking to your brother Esav. And what he said was, bring me some game and prepare a dish for me to eat, that I may bless you with Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh's approval before I die. Go to the flock, Esav, fetch me 2 choice kids, and I'll make them a dish for your father, such as he likes. This is what Rebekah says to Yaakov, that he should do what his father told Esav to do. In other words, to mimic what Esav was doing and beat him to the punch. And then the mother, in this story of deceit, Heveta liavicha v'yachal ba'avor asher yavarechecha lifnei moto. And then you, Yaakov, take the meal to your father in order that he may bless you. Lifnei moto, before he dies. What goes around comes around, doesn't it, my friends? And now we have more examples of this as we make our way into Jacob's life. Because he must run as fast as he can to escape from his brother's desire for revenge. And he ends up in the household of Laban, and Laban deceives Jacob by substituting Leah for Rachel, who Yaakov loves and wants to marry, on their wedding night, causing Jacob to have to work for 14 years for Laban instead of the agreed upon 7 years. What goes around comes around. We can't escape the karma, can we? Because it also can lead to, here in Jacob's life, where Jacob's own sons deceiving. How? By using the blood-stained garment to fake the death of Joseph, the son of Rachel. Wow. Is this not true? As ye sow, so ye shall reap. This is the heartbreaking part for me of this week's Parsha. Ki shema Esav et divrei aviv v'yitzchak tza'aka. V'yitzchak tza'aka. Not Yitzchak, v'yitzchak. He cried a great cry, did Esav. Barcheni gam ani aviv. Bless me too, Father. Have you no blessing for me? This is after he learns that Isaac has already blessed his younger brother Jacob. You can talk all you want about Esav having sold his birthright. I don't buy it. I think we regret some things we do in our life where we sold ourselves short. Bless me too, Father. Do you not have another blessing for me? As he cries this out to his father, Rabbi Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory reminds us of two phrases that occur within that same pasuk, that same sentence in which Esav cries out, bless me too, phrases like trembling violently and burst out loud with a loud and bitter cry cannot but affect us deeply. Rabbi Sacks teaches that this is how the moral life is. We learn by making mistakes. We live life forward, but we understand it only looking back. Only then do we see the wrong turns we inadvertently made. This discovery is sometimes our greatest moment of moral truth. For each of us, there is a blessing that is ours. That was not true just of Isaac, but also Ishmael. Not just Jacob, but also Esav. The moral could not be more powerful. Never seek your brother's blessing. Be content with your own. And so, again, I come back to me and my brother. My brother subsequently, a number of years ago, moved to Jerusalem. And he now is called Ephraim. I, as you might know, I am Moshe Ber. On this Shabbat Toldot, my prayer for my brother is that he be attentive to the blessings that are his and his alone. And so may we be attentive to and seek to break the negative patterns that may have been passed down through the family line. And in doing so, receive the blessing that is ours alone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.